Our short reflection for this Friday, within the 31st week in ordinary time, my dear friends, will center on today's gospel passage. And our biblical text will come from the Gospel of Luke, Luke chapter 16, verse 8. The master commended the dishonest steward for his prudence, for the sons of this world are wiser in their own generation than the sons of light. In today's gospel passage, we are presented with Jesus' story of the dishonest steward. This servant was one whom the master placed in charge of his resources, in charge of his wealth and his treasures. But he mismanaged them. Upon hearing of the servant's mismanagement of his treasure, he called for account. The kind of account that this servant presented was a manipulated one. But instead of being angry and annoyed with the servant, we are told that the master commended him. On a face value, we can ask ourselves the question, why did Jesus narrate this kind of story to the disciples? It appears as if he is approving the dishonesty of the servant. But as our biblical text reveals, the reason why the servant was commended was on account of his prudence. Some other translations will say astuteness. So Jesus, just like the master of the servant, commended him for being prudent, not only in the account he presented, but also in the way he handled the situation. The question we ask ourselves is, what is prudence? Prudence is one of the four cardinal virtues. According to the theologian St. Thomas Aquinas, prudence is right reason in action. The Catechism of the Catholic Church, paragraph 1806, says that prudence is that virtue which disposes practical reason to discern our true good in every circumstance and then choose the right means of achieving it. The wise man in Proverbs chapter 14 verse 15 says that the prudent man looks where he is going. So prudence is the moderator of all the other virtues. It is that virtue, as practical as it is, that discourages every form of extremism. A closer look at today's gospel passage will reveal that there are two practical ways that this man demonstrated prudence in his actions. And these were the reasons why he was commended. In the first place, we see that even though this man was dishonest to the master, he was very much honest to himself. When he heard the news that the master had started looking for a way to remove him from his position, he entered into himself. He became so honest to himself. He became so sincere with himself. He told himself, I cannot dig because I don't have the strength to do that. On the other hand also, I cannot turn out to become a beggar. Honesty and sincerity to oneself. It is on account of this self-sincerity that enabled him and prompted him to start looking for other practical means to solve his problem so that he will not lose out completely. As Christians also, one of the major problems that we face in life is that many of us are not sincere to ourselves. Many of us lack honesty. Many of us are dishonest even to our very selves. Many of us do not tell ourselves the truth. But at the point in time when we learn to tell ourselves the truth, then we will begin to look for practical ways to solve the problems that are facing us. The second way that this man demonstrated prudence was in being considerate. By the time he started getting in contact with all those who were owing the master, what did he do? This was an opportunity for him to strike once and finally run away with the treasury of the master. But what did he do? He started becoming considerate to all those who were his debtors. How much are you owing? The debtor will say, and he will say, cancel it and write this. This is consideration. And when you look at this very, very well, the man was not so much carried away by money. He understood that the personal relationship with these people mattered more than the money he would have benefited from them. A very big lesson for us as well. Many people today sacrifice relationships at the altar of either pleasure or material wealth. But this man considered relationship better and greater than money and material possession. And that was why he was being commended at the end of the day. As we celebrate this Friday and as this week gradually comes to an end, the church encourages us. We are called to be honest and sincere men, not only towards God, but also towards ourselves as individuals, and then towards people around us. And then also, we should not allow money or the desire and quest for material things to overshadow and override the interpersonal relationship and bond that we should establish with one another. We should learn from these servants to be considerate. We pray that as this week comes to an end gradually, that God will give us the grace to become prudent enough in our relationship with Him and in our relationship with one another. May God bless you. Have a wonderful day, dear friends.